The concealed carry law allows shopkeepers, public places to restrict the ability of people with concealed carry permits to bring their weapons in onto their premises, but it has to be posted conspicuously with a sign that has the picture of the gun with the red circle on the line through it, and the language of the statute that puts the person on notice that their gun isn't welcome there. There are certain places that automatically are excluded from a concealed carry. Government offices, schools.
Okay, like where we are today, we're in a school. I mean, you
can't bring the gun here under any circumstances.
I see.
Now, you used to be you couldn't even have it out in the parking lot, but I believe that under the changes recently in the gun legislation, that you can, in fact, if I had a concealed carry permit and had a weapon with me, I could have brought it and left it in my car today. I didn't.
Bob, when in September, when this went through the legislature, I really, actually, I read about it much later. I must have been reading about it as more of a summation then. But were there hefty opposition to this that you know of, or?
Well, hefty, no, because it passed. But the main source of opposition actually came from law enforcement. I know the Ohio Prosecuting Attorneys Association opposed the changes and probably provided testimony against it, and also law enforcement agencies, police agencies, pretty much across the board opposed these changes.
Nice.
The prosecutors, I wasn't a part of that organization, obviously, but I believe the prosecutors opposed it because it shifted the burden on self-defense from the defendant, who the prosecutors prosecute, to them to establish that the use of force was improper. So if their job is to get convictions in that circumstance, if that's how they look at it, it made their jobs a little bit harder if they were going to prosecute somebody in that situation. The police, I believe the police opposed this legislation basically for what I touched on before. They're the folks that have to approach vehicles and are walking into situations where they don't want guns. They're the folks that are going to be responding to domestic disputes, burglaries in progress, things like that, serving warrants on people, serving subpoenas on people and things like that. And they just were opposed to a law that would maybe take away some of the hesitation for somebody to pull that trigger, because sometimes they're the folks coming through that door, and if we encourage people to be quicker to shoot, sometimes it's too late when we realize what the real situation is.
No, absolutely. It's kind of interesting, though, the way this is evolving, though. I mean, the concealed carry, which has brought us the Castle Doctrine, there's a lot of meat here on the bones for anybody interested in the law to be thinking about this, and we're getting into some nuances now, because actually, as I remember, when concealed carry did finally work its way through, and it took a while, but I think most law enforcement went along with it. But it appears that...
Yeah, although, there was a certain hesitation there, too, because...
Well, it took quite a while.
From a police aspect, the less guns, the better.
Sure.
And I believe that was, a lot of the opposition would be to discourage situations where we have a lot of people walking around with guns, because... guns make you tougher than you might be otherwise, and the fear was, and I don't think it's come to that yet, but that we would be having situations where we'd be having shootouts and things like that.
Which is something I guess we always have to be cognizant of, and that's why we have lawmakers, and that's what we have laws, and that's what we talk about here on the show. Bob, I'd like to thank you for being our guest today on this episode of Law Talk. It was a very interesting topic. for our folks out, our viewers, if you'd like to view this show, you simply go to our website at CZ-CLEP.org. I am John Celebrezze, and I thank you for tuning in to Law Talk.